Hello, everybody. Welcome to Monday. It is more Monday. More Resale Monday. Hey, everybody, who is with me tonight on this Monday night? Jennifer, number one. Number one. All right, Jennifer, great to have you here. Andrew, good evening. Melissa, get going on that treadmill. Faster, faster, faster. Lori, all right. Dennis, I'm already out of breath, Melissa. I hope you can keep up with me. Shelley, Angie, howdy. Howdy, partner. I don't know, I don't have a hat, Angie. I can't do the howdy. Valerie, Sarah, Stephanie, Bailey, Michelle, Stephanie, Alicia, Kitty Boys is in the house, and Adele is here. Adele's had a busy day. Lisa, we are here. Melissa wants me to talk for like 2 hours tonight so she gets more time on the treadmill. I saw her earlier post. She said I wasn't talking long enough for her to get a full workout. Whoop, whoop. Yes, Kristen, we're doing it. Lisa's there, so we've got Alaska. Karen hasn't chimed in from St. John so that we can have our opposite ends of the world going here. But it is all good. The Acostas are in the house. 38 minutes. Oh, I can walk, Melissa. I can do walking. I thought you had like a Bonnie thing going on where you ran. No, I'm not. I gotta work on my howdy. Too many people are howdying me, so I have to work on howdy. New Mexico is in the house. Cindy's in the house. Upstate New York. Well, upstate New York is good. Where in upstate New York are you, Kristen? I didn't know. I'm trying to think of where you are in upstate New York because I grew up in upstate New York, or what I consider upstate New York. So let's see how we compare upstate New York's here. Hey, Joanne. Zach Evans is in the house. Wedding still on time for October. I'm Little Missy's date. Let's not forget that. Jim, I'm feeling scallywag. I don't have coffee tonight, Jim. I've got scotch tonight. It's replacing, we go from coffee to water to scotch. Atlanta's in the house. Kurt must have gotten permission from Jen to watch tonight because he's in the house. Iowa's in the house. I've been to the state twice, allowed in the state twice. I think it's like a 20-year thing between times I'm allowed in Iowa, but that's a whole nother story. I've very much enjoyed both my trips to Iowa. But I think even after, when we're all done with this thing, I am doing a tour. I think we're going to get a big bus and just do a store-to-store promote resale tour. All right. Yes, we will. We're going to shut your wedding down. I mean, we're going to be the last ones off the dance floor at your wedding, Little Missy and I. Christine in Jersey. I like that you're not New Jersey anymore. You're just Jersey. Just a Jersey girl. As of right now, everything is standing with conference, Kristen, but we'll keep you updated. Really, it comes down to what the hotel is able to host in June. Right now, we don't know that. I am optimistic, and we've had so many people wanting us to keep the date, so we will keep you all posted. Hey, Deanne, glad to see you live tonight with me. Carrie and Nancy joining in as well. Wow, we're getting a big audience here on a Monday night. So go ahead, people, tell me what we are grateful for this Monday. What are we grateful? Sarah from Stuff. There's somebody that can get me across the Iowa state line. My friends at Stuff, etc. can get me across the state line Maybe they can get that 20-year moratorium, maybe my picture off the post office wall or something so I can come back to Iowa. Hey, Ellen, how are you this evening? I hope all is well with you and Mike tonight. Watch your dessert. I hope you watch that, Ellen, while you're watching this so that Mike doesn't steal your dessert. Just a rumor, I hear he steals desserts. What a FaceTime with your grandkids. That's awesome. Your mom helping you in the shop. Hey, Nancy. The grant I got from the Chamber of Commerce today. Yay, Kitty. Go. Get those grants. Get those things. That is not money you have to pay back. And they are supporting their community. I love things like that. I've seen that, Adele. All those members today. You have been very, very busy getting everyone registered today. Thank you so much for getting everybody not only registered, Adele, but getting them on our group here today. I am so excited to see that. You got 85 items on your website. That is awesome. Leanne, hey, this community, nothing beats this. You are not alone running this store. Chris joining us from the Carolinas. Grateful for stretchy pants. I had to pull another notch on the belt today. I'm going to be in trouble with my pants. I'm not having time to eat enough. Distance your children. And distance from your siblings. I like that, Kurt. I had, every weekend, Kurt, I do a sibling Saturday or sibling Sunday where I call all my siblings and check in with them. It's my thing because some of them only have that phone that works one way except for when they want something. But I didn't get to it this weekend because I was so busy, so I did it today. I did More Family Monday and checked in with them this afternoon or this evening on my way home. Yay, Sarah, that's awesome. I love when you get money back on your escrow account. Spring cleaning done. Hi, Chris. Crystal's watching us in Colorado. Crystal and Molly getting on at the same time, both from Colorado. Molly's getting her website help from Angie. That is awesome. Angie at Angie K. That is awesome. All the vendors have been, the resale partners have been unbelievable at jumping through hoops to help you hit another level. Liberty, Traxia, they've been telling me about all these websites they've been signing up. Computer Peeps, Dean over there. Consign Pro users have been getting my resale store websites from Consign Pro. Monkeys and Hats, Colleen and Richard have been crazy busy helping you all along. And they're really about getting us to survive. Because remember, Gloria Gaynor sang it. I will survive as long as I know love, I know I will survive. And they all love this industry. They love your stores. They are loving you to death. They're working out payment arrangements to collect when you have money. We will get to the other side of this. 3 virtual shoppers. Well, that's better than 3 virtual stalkers, Carrie. That is great. Yes, Ellen, Richard, and Colleen have been excellent at helping so many stores right now. It's true. All the vendors, they really have. All the associate members of this industry, the affiliate members, I'm using the wrong term. All the affiliate members have been phenomenal. Like no other industry, we bring people together. So it's all about bringing people together. Actually, when I was in one of the interviews that I've had in the last week, the people who have been interviewing me, I was told I wasn't sad enough about what we're all going through. And it is heart-wrenching what we're all going through. But I am positive we're going to get to the other side. Positive we're going to get through this. I'm positive we're going to be stronger because of that. And no, I won't just shout negative stuff about what's happening in the world or what's going wrong. I'm going to help us find what's right and fix what's wrong, because we're all going to get to the other side of that. So I'm glad to hear that we start off with what we're grateful for this evening, and that you have all been so positive about that. That is just awesome. You are awesome. And you all make me better. Hey, Eric Abrams, another Iowa. I think we might have the most people on here from Iowa of any state tonight. It must be something in the corn. I might have to do a special trip just to Iowa, if they let me in. You all got to take my picture down at the post office, though. Yes, I am grateful for Russell at Resale World. I've talked to him several times, actually, over the weekend, and helping with a lot of stores, because some of you are afraid to go and use the resources that are out there. These people want to help you. And Molly, you're originally from Iowa? I did not know that. Jeff and Dana, all right. Eric, you're making me laugh there. But Russell at Resale World, as well as everybody. I talked to Joe at Traxxia this week, and I've talked to so many. They just want to reach out and help. So anything they can do, because I've had some of you reach out to me, what do you think they'll do if we ask them for this? Or how can they help me get this done? Or how can Angie or Colleen or Richard, they all want to help. They don't need my voice to tell you that you reach out to them, they will help you. So we're all gonna do that. So this is awesome. So let's get into. Yes, it's awesome that it kicked you in the pants to get your online store. That is great. That is great. You know, sometimes it's just a little kick. What you want to keep in mind, and we're going to cover it when I get to a slow news day, and I promise you, things are going to slow down enough where we can focus on coming out, how we come out of this, and how we make all our businesses stronger. Because what I want you to think about in the back of your mind is the processes you are creating for your website. Because I know so many of you got online recently, or are in the process of getting yourself online, is to how do you replicate this when you have all the regular stuff going on in your store? How do you keep this going? So keep that in mind, because we're going to talk about that in the coming days and weeks. Hey, Pat, great to have you with us, because it's not just me. It's great to talk to you earlier too. So let's see what's going on today in my world, and what I have for you all. Today was my weekly coaching call. So I have a coach, just like I'm coaching all of you, and every good pro athlete has a coach. I have a coach. So today was my business coach call, and we talked about a lot of things. One of the things is, and we've danced it, but haven't used the actual words. Don't let fear cripple you, okay? And don't let that curl up in a ball, roll into a corner. Don't let fear cripple you. Again, focus on progress versus what you didn't get done. We've talked about that before. Be stubborn in your goals, but flexible in your methods. Just like many of you who've gotten online recently. You're there to be the best resale store. You're there to sell lots of stuff, but your storefronts are closed, but you're finding other methods, whether it's through Facebook Live, whether it's through your website, through community groups, through Facebook Marketplace. However you're getting your merchandise out there to the masses, you are finding other ways because you are being flexible in your methods. It also helps you through this, just like we start every night, we start with what we're grateful for. It helps you look at your cup as half full, not half empty. So my scotch is half full tonight, folks. You are absolutely correct, Kitty. FDR said you have nothing to fear but fear itself, and that is very, very true. And I haven't heard the Queen's whole message, okay, and since she even knew FDR, okay, but these moments in time that the Queen took the time to give a message are incredibly important. These signs of leadership, signs of faith, and in the future helps us get to the other side through this. So that one is good. It is some cold. This is an awesome glass. If Jennifer really loved you, she'd get you one of these quench glasses, Kurt. It is double-walled. Inside there's a layer that freezes. So it's two layers. The layer in between freezes and keeps the glass chilled so that it doesn't melt in your scotch. So if Jennifer loved you, she would get you one of these. I need to get more. This one is my last one. I break them occasionally. But that's a whole nother story. And Angie says it well, and I loved her video where she did it. Maybe she can find one of those and repost it for us as a current one, because you can be fearless or fearless as you go forward. And that is so very true and so very important. So that is huge as we do it. Now, the next thing about it is, and I love this, okay? So many of you know from my presentations at NARTS and such, and just talking in general, I am the son of the pharmacist. My father was the town pharmacist in upstate New York for more than 40 years. And one of the things that people need now more than ever is everyone needs to be on their meds, okay? And I know I've made some of you laugh. It is part of our article out in the April newsletter. See, being the proofreader of the newsletter, Adele, I forget which one's in which one, and I lose track of it. But it is such an important point that Angie makes. And her video presentation on that, when she talked about it, was just amazing. I can't even, okay? But, I'm talking about meds here. Everybody needs to be on their meds. And I'm not talking about all of you going nuts, or your crazy customers, or your customers that are nuts looking for their consignor payments, or just the ones that are banging on the door. Why won't you let me shop? Okay, I see what I want right there. Why won't you let me in? Okay, you know, the days to slow the spread. That's all we're doing right now, is slowing the spread and getting us all to the other side as a business. But this isn't the meds you're thinking about, okay? I mean, you know, you've heard me talk about meds. I mean, growing up, we had one walk-in closet in the split-level house that I grew up in. And that closet was not used for clothes, was not used for purses, okay? It was a walk-in pharmacy. So if we needed if something was wrong with anybody, us, somebody in the neighborhood, whatever, there was a pill for it in that closet, okay? We didn't need to go to that whole pharmacy that was only a few blocks away. We just walked into the walk-in closet and there was a pill for whatever might ail you at that time. It was an interesting, you know, retrospective looking back. I don't know that I had the same look at it as a kid, but it's interesting looking back. But the meds I'm talking about, okay, are everyone needs to be on their meds. Everyone needs a time in their day for meditation. Just that time to cool off, turn everything off. Turn off your phone, your notifications, the news. Just take in your surroundings. Maybe the beautiful sunset that some of you have talked about and how beautiful a day. Maybe just to hear the birds chirping. Just take a moment to do it. I'm not saying I'm going to do yoga or my tree pose or nothing here, but I'm just saying take a moment to meditate and turn it all off. You need what Melissa said. You need some exercise. You need some time to exercise. Move the body just a little bit. Don't be a couch potato. You need to keep on moving a little bit. Just doesn't have to be a lot, just a little bit. Then you don't need the stretchy pants. Which also leads us into the D of meds, diet. You got to eat well. You got to take care of yourself. I've talked about it for other things. So you got to make sure you're fed and you're taken care of. So your diet has to be in there. And lastly, what is the S in meds? Sleep. You need a good night's sleep. You need to get to the other side of this, okay? This is a marathon. This process, we're not measuring it in days. We're measuring it in weeks, okay? Some areas of the country are going to measure this process in months. But we are going to get to the other side. Yes, Michelle, you need a moment, and it's okay. It's okay to need a moment. Take a breath. Take your meds. Meditation, exercise, diet, and sleep. The other thing to keep in mind as we're going through this is to have a routine. Force yourself to get up. Force yourself to get dressed. Force yourself to set aside and hear the birds. Just have a little bit of a routine and a little bit of focus. And my recommendation for your workday, because you're one person wearing many hats. Some of you have big staffs, okay? I mean, we have 20-something people work for us, okay? We're doing the job of 20-something people. Actually, Cassandra's doing the job of 20-something people. I spend most of my day talking to all of you, and I love it. I love being able to connect with you. I love being able to help you with whatever your issue is. But take that moment to focus on your intervals when you're working on a project in the store versus looking at your store and saying, I'm not getting anything done, or I'm not getting anything listed on my website. Take those moments, and that is absolutely right, Kristen. Self-care is very important. That's why in this group we have Self-Care Sunday. In case you missed it, watch yesterday's video. But you need these moments so that you feel forward progress. So take, a focused interval when you want to work on a project at the store and say, the next 90 minutes I'm going to work on this. I'm going to work on the girls section. I'm going to work on boys. I'm going to work on China. Whatever it is, I'm going to work on getting the most items I can listed in 90 minutes, and then I'm going to take a break. And I'm going to go do something else. Stay focused, okay, for a period of time. All right. How was all that? Let's see what meat I got today for you. Finally, for my friends who are self-employed, okay, who have not... All right, I'm glad that Amy's painting. I've talked to several people today that are using painting as therapy. I am not a painter. I tried to paint once when I was younger. I had this great idea to paint the counters in the window at my father's pharmacy. And I had this great idea, and I was going to go do it, and I was going to go buy all the supplies and do it. And I went down to the hardware store that was just up the block. I walked down there, and I said, Mr. Kozlow, I need the paint, because I'm going to paint the counters in my father's pharmacy. And he got me brushes, and he got me paint, and he's like, what are you getting? And I'm like, I like bright yellow. And he's like, what? And he sold me this. He thought this was a terrible idea, but he sold me the bright yellow paint. And then I went back and I painted, and everything in the store now had bright yellow paint on it, because I'm not a very good painter. That is not a skill I bring to the table. So, when you run out of rooms to paint, let me know. Cassandra has lots of rooms both at the house and the store that she'd like painted. So, those are not on my priority list, but they do need to happen at some point. Yeah, it's not a skill set I have, and I remember the old days even of Home Depot. Mr. Koslow's log passed on, but I remember the old days of early days of Home Depot when you went in there and everybody knew how to, the people you talked to in the aisles could actually help you and teach you things, and they would make you feel like you could do anything. I was the guy that would buy everything they told me I could do. You can saw, you can paint, you can karate, you can plumb. No, I can't. It's not a talent I have. Purple, I love it. Chris, yeah, it's not, none of these things are skills I have. So I'm very good at sticking in my lane now, and people don't believe that I can't do, or they don't let me touch tools or any of that, and they don't. And there's lots and lots of good reasons for that, okay? But I stay in my lane, I focus on what I am good at, and helping you through this I was born for, okay? So let's talk about unemployment, because a lot of you who are self-employed or haven't paid yourself or haven't paid unemployment insurance because your state didn't require it, have been like, when am I going to get my share? Da da da! Da da! Okay, I almost fell over. The states yesterday or late last night finally got guidance from the U.S. Department of Labor on how to implement unemployment insurance for those who have not been able to get it. And so the states finally woke up to it this morning. 50 page. Well, the summary is 7 pages. The actual guidance is closer to 50 pages in its full detail. They will implement this. It's going to take a little bit of time. They've already started working on it, but it is going to take a little bit of time. I'm hopeful that the states that really have their act together will have something together by the end of the week. Certainly, I'm hoping by next week, it will be set. I mean, the federal government's picking up the tab for everything. When you read, if you were to bore yourself by reading this guidance that they're giving to the states, they talk about how the federal government will pay them for their computer programming time, everything they need to do to set this up, and pay the unemployment, plus pay you the extra $600 a week for the weeks that qualify for that. So that is coming. I expect to hear more later this week as states actually start to be able to handle the claims for it. So very, very exciting that that is happening and moving forward. Another big story that continues to be, making national headlines is retailers making tough decisions on rent and other bills. And we've talked about this, and it's getting press, that the big guys are doing that to hang on to cash. Urban Outfitters has said they're not paying rent. Cheesecake Factory, Mattress Firm, Calvin Klein, Tommy Hilfiger. Other retailers are raising some concern because they're digging deep into their credit lines. Kohl's took $1 billion down from their credit lining to their bank account. $1 billion, okay? That is 32 years in seconds, okay? They access their credit line for it to meet their commitments. So it is happening. People are doing that. Again, I have told you repeatedly, in the short term, hang on to cash, okay? Do what's important. Pay your people. Pay your insurance. Insurance cancels when you do not pay it. If they don't have the money at 12:01 a.m. on the day that it's supposed to be paid, they cancel you. So do not get canceled with that. Make sure your belly is fed. We have talked about that multiple times. And consigners within your normal consigner guidelines as possible, however you do that. And I've had many discussions with several of you on an individual basis about your individual situation with that, and I'm happy to continue addressing that. I have a few calls tomorrow dealing with that specifically. So it is a big way, but they're holding on to rent. They're not saying, keep in mind, they're not saying they'll never pay. I mean, I've had conversations with people, I've had conversations with my own landlord. I mean, my own landlords are calling me for help on how to address different things. But one of the big ones that I have is like, nobody's paying. And I'm like, yeah, I know, because people are hanging on to cash. They're trying to get to the other side, okay? They're trying to take care of their people, just like you're trying to take care of your people. So, because we are all family. And we are family. Okay, promise not to sing. All right, Laura, yes. The glass of scotch is half full. That's the way we're looking at life here, Laura. So that is huge, and it's good, and it makes you in good company as you're making your own decisions. No landlord's going to kick you out right now. It's more how they're going to eventually be made whole, okay? And it's not a panacea of money. There's, retailers are such as ourselves are taking out loans and other things to make sure we are here on the other side. The other side's going to be great. I still believe, we're going to hear stories at the end of this year about retailers, resellers who were closed 2 months and still finish the year up, okay? Because there's going to be so much money flooding the economy, so much money. And, even I was talking to one of my employees today about, how next week she'll get $3,400. And she's like, where am I going to get $3,400 from? And I'm like, well, the IRS is sending you $3,400 to where, well, I haven't filed my taxes. I'm like, well, is the bank account on your 2018 return still true? And I'm like, did you get a refund in 2018 from your 2018? Yes, I got a refund. Okay, well, you will have that money coming in. That's going to help, again, see us to the other side. So, and it's going to help people are going to be flooded with cash to get to the other side. So it is good. Hey, Sarah, thanks for joining us. So the other big thing today continues to be the PPP. The Payroll Protection Program loan. I put the L on because a lot of people do not put that there. It is a loan. When you take that, you are signing a loan agreement. You are signing a 2-year loan for whatever money you take, with payments and interest deferred for 6 months. A 2-year loan at 1%. It is still a loan on the day you take it. Okay? I cannot stress that enough. Okay? Keep in mind, most of you, if your annual payroll is not greater than $50,000, it isn't worth it. If you're $50,000 to $60,000, $65,000, $75,000, it's iffy depending on your other options that you can take. So we should have a discussion if your payroll's in that amount to help you do the math. Yes, there are still lots of banking issues with this. The banks are having a hard time getting this done, getting this processed. It will work itself out this week. The headline in tonight's news is Wells Fargo has shut them down. Well, again, the devil's in the details. Wells Fargo is shut down from loaning more money, not because Wells Fargo doesn't have money, not because Wells Fargo doesn't want to participate, because if you remember old headlines, Wells Fargo was a bad player. They were opening accounts for people. They were creating credit cards for people that didn't apply for them and all these things. So they had limits placed on them on what they could do. Other banks are going slower because they are nervous about how this implements and how this plays out. So it is a process. And even I got something from my bank tonight that they wanted the in the file section on the Resale Strong page, narts.org/resale strong, is their payroll protection calculator to calculate what you are eligible for. Under that, my bank asked for that sheet to be printed, signed, and sent in. Again, it's a self-certification of how you came up with your numbers. That's all they're asking for. Banks aren't used to just handing out money and having somebody else on the other side say, hey, don't worry about it. Give Neil whatever he asks for. We're going to give it back to you plus 5%. That is not what banks are used to, okay? It is what's happening now. It is what the government is doing their best to assure people of, but it is not what people are used to. So, but it is happening. So, they're getting out there. But again, keep in mind the L in this, PPPL, Payroll Protection Program Loan. It's a loan unless you meet the two key conditions, okay? And those conditions as they stand now, okay? And I still expect one more revision to this, and I'm hopeful that it's this week, not all the way to the 26th. But the two conditions as they stand now, that is correct, Eric. Federal taxes do not apply to the 75%. It is, but state taxes do. But the federal taxes do not apply to that calculation. You are 100% correct. I have some strategies for that. Should we need to hit that, happy to discuss with you. You know how to reach me. So the two thresholds that you have to hit are both kicked off by the 8 weeks after disbursement. So the immediate 8 weeks after you take the money, okay, from your loan, okay, which some banks will let you delay when you take it because most of us are closed now and not operating. So if your bank will let you delay to when you can reopen or even later than that, it's better to start the clock. I've had discussions with my bank about not taking it till maybe we're open in a couple of weeks and see where I'm at with payroll. But you have to hit two targets. One, you have to use 75% of this money for payroll and payroll-related expenses, which includes health insurance. So you can use 75% of it for payroll-related expenses. Health insurance and retirement contributions count as part of that. 75% of the dollars have to be used for that to meet also what was used towards payroll before. The other 75% threshold is you have to be maintaining 75% of your full-time equivalent count. So full-time equivalent, your full-time equivalent is calculated by your total payroll hours for the year divided by 52 divided by 40. That gives you the number of full-time equivalent employees. You have to hit 75% of that. For example, I worked with one store earlier today. They have 16 full-time equivalents. So that means starting on day one that they take the money, they have to restore 12 of them on average from that point forward for the 8 weeks following. and handle it that you have to be maintaining that. If you don't maintain 75% used towards payroll and 75% of your full-time equivalent count, you will not get full forgiveness of this loan. No matter what, okay, even if you do not get the loan forgiven, 75% of the money has to be used for payroll, or you remain personally responsible for it on top of the company. That is a caveat of the loan. It is in all the small print, so keep that in mind. There is no personal guarantee on it other than that you use 75% of it towards payroll and direct payroll expenses. Michelle, yes, they're going to ask for the backup documentation, Michelle, and either have you upload it to one of their online systems. Just have everything ready in the checklist. I've been finding from everyone that I've been talking to that most people are asked for the majority of stuff on that checklist that is posted on the Resale Strong page. Again, narcs.org/Resale Strong. The majority of people are asked for that. Eric, there's partial forgiveness if you don't hit your FTE, but there's no partial forgiveness if you don't use 75% on payroll. And that's sort of the key. You can take longer to use it and everything else, but under the regulations that they updated over the weekend to the banks, 75% has to be used on payroll, 75% of FTEs have to be hit. So, there's some math with that. Kurt, you'll probably be benefit okay because of your yearly to what you are right now. It probably won't be hard to do that. I mean, especially if Jennifer lets you get paid. But feel free to reach out to me. I'll give you a call and we'll talk about your specific situation. There's a lot of individual specifics here that come into play. You can use it later for payroll, Wendy, so the timeline for not being forgiven is the 8 weeks. You can still use it after the 8 weeks for payroll if you didn't use it during that 8 weeks, but then it's a loan, not forgiven. Okay, and that's huge. So do you want to borrow in advance this payroll and then have to pay it within 2 years, payments starting after 6 months? Yes, it's only 1% interest, but the whole benefit of this is the forgiveness. You got to keep in mind there's lots of agencies involved in this. So you have Congress that authorized this, okay, and the president signing it. Treasury has handed it, okay, to make the rules, and the SBA is triggered with implementing it, and the banks are the ones actually giving you the cash. Yes, it's a 1% loan for 2 years and everything, but it's not. The best part of the PPP is the fact that it can be forgiven. And if you can't take advantage of the forgiveness, it's not that great a deal. If you're not going to take advantage of the forgiveness portion of this, okay, or be able to take advantage of it, you shouldn't do the PPP, and you should just do the economic injury disaster loan, take the $10,000 advance, and never take the PPP. Because if you take the $10,000 advance from the economic injury disaster loan, okay, and don't take the PPP, that $10,000 is yours free and clear. If you take the economic injury disaster loan, take the advance, and do the PPP, okay, then the $10,000 comes off the PPP. So, but I'm happy to talk to any of you about your individual circumstances. There's a lot of individual circumstances in this, from your own current cash flow and expenses to the number of employees to things that are specific about your business, okay, that aren't good for a live video, okay? People aren't posting on this how much their payroll is and what their staff is and what their cash position is, and I'm not asking you to. I do ask you when we talk in person, okay? And that's where it stays, but it's real important to understand how these different things apply to your individual situation, and that's sometimes hard in a global video covering all the issues. So, Kelly, to answer your question, the EIDL is not forgiven. Only the first $10,000 is forgiven if you took the advance and you didn't get the PPP. If you took the $10,000 advance and you did not take the PPP, the $10,000 is yours to keep. Okay, absolutely yours to keep. Sylvia, I know no one that's gotten the $10,000 yet, and I have talked to hundreds of stores. Okay, hundreds of stores. Nobody's gotten the $10,000 yet. My guess is 14 days before I hear the first person getting the $10,000. But I'll have an update on that tomorrow because I've got a thing with the current SBA administrator tomorrow that I will get an update on. I've got an update from my board at the Retail Association of Massachusetts. I've got the SBA administrator, and I got some other people that I'm hearing from tomorrow, so I will work on that. Yo, the advance is still available, Kelly. You can ask for the $10,000 advance if you haven't asked for it. You go back, you fill out another application, you can get the $10,000 advance. But if you ask for the $10,000 advance on the EIDL, you will not get, that comes off the PPP if you take it. So if the PPP was going to give you $20,000, it only gives you $10,000 then, because of the way it's calculated. So, real important on all that. The EIDL LLCs can apply for, yes. I have scotch, and my glass is half full, even though it may not look at it at this point, Colleen. We're a scotch night. And even though a lot of times I do martinis, by the time I get to this video every night, Colleen, it's much easier to pour from the bottle of scotch and just get on here. So, we're all there. We're all in it together. So, rent doesn't count towards anything. Rent can be used for the other 25% of funds, but it doesn't add into anything, Sue. So 75% all has to be payroll, health insurance, retirement contributions. Can't say that enough. Do not forget that. But I am happy. I am unbelievably happy to look at your individual situation, run your individual numbers with the pink calculator, figure out what applies in your situation. This is incredibly confusing on a big scale. Happy to bring it down to your level and your store and your individual situation with your Susie, Joe, and Mike that work for you so that you can make the best decision for your company and your family. Because this is tough stuff. This is not easy. You didn't get into this for this, okay? You didn't open your store to be dealing with this. But you did open your store to still be in business. You did open your store to be the best in business. And we are going to get to the other side of this because you can't be the best in business. You can't be the best store in your neighborhood if you are not in business. And this has helped to get you to the other side. So let's get to the other side. Let's just do it the right way. Do not hesitate to reach out to me. I'm getting texts from Melissa that I've been on too long and she's having to walk too long and now she's sweating and what is she going to do? And carrying a kid on a treadmill. Yes, put yourself on payroll. Kurt, is that message for Jennifer to put you on the payroll finally? I'll talk to Jennifer about it, but I make no guarantees in your individual case. But I'm there for you. So feel free to reach out to me with your individual situation. If you do reach out to me, do not forget to include your phone number because these things are not yes, no emails. Okay, they are not yes, no. So they require a conversation. Do not hang up if you get a call or a FaceTime from a 508 number. That means Neil is calling you. Take the call. Even if the dog is trampling on you, even if you haven't had a shower today, even if your hair is up or your hair is down or whatever, take the call. I am there for you. You can reach me, Neil, Neil, at ECIstores.com. That is Neil at ECIstores.com. You know how to find me on Facebook. Most of you have my phone number. I call everybody back. My call list is getting smaller. I actually think by the end of the day tomorrow, I'll be caught up with everybody that I have through today, certainly through yesterday. So if you sent me something through yesterday, I think I'll be caught up by tomorrow. Hope to be caught up a little more than that. Sue, you're not wrong, but in most cases where you're closed down, it's not beneficial for that. But I'm happy, reach out to me and I'll be happy to talk about your individual situation. Kelly, when do I sleep? I actually slept a little bit last night. I got off the call and I curled in a corner. Actually, yesterday was a tough day. I'll admit, I kept on trying to lie down all day yesterday. And Rebecca and Cassandra kept on, no, you can't go to sleep. And I tried to find a couch to lay on or a bed to lay on. And no. And then they found me on the floor in the office on a pillow. But yes, I sleep eventually. When I stop, I stop. After this, you usually don't hear from me at night till early in the morning. I start replying to all your questions on this. We are from Geneva, New York. Well, I grew up... Kristen, between Albany and Saratoga. My father was the pharmacist assistant in Glenville, New York. I went to Burnt Hills, Boston Lake High School. Russell is watching. There's been lots of talk to you, Russell, tonight. You may have to watch again later to hear how many times your name was mentioned. I did like Azure's picture of the dog interrupting the puzzle on the table. That was classic. It must have been when you were supposed to be watching the dog working from home. But you are not alone running this store. Reach out. I am there for you and you and you and you, because you are not alone running this store. We are resale strong. We will get to the other side of this. I will see you tomorrow night at 8 o'clock with the latest information that I have and answering your questions live. Yeah, I know you didn't want the dog, Russell. See you all tomorrow. It is dinner time.